behalf of the Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce, we invite each one of you to this curtain riser on e-Kaizen, lead, that is, learn, engage, adapt, and disseminate. This session has been organized under the aegis of the Manufacturing Expert Committee of the BCIC. We would like to especially thank our chairman, Mr. G. Prakash, who is the Vice President Technical, Toyota Kirloskar Auto Parts, Mr. V. Shivaganesh, Head FA Sales and Application Fanuc India, Dr. S. Devarajan, Senior Vice President Production Engineering, TVS Motor Company Limited, and also a member, Mr. Bharat Ram, Vice President Production Toyota Industries Engine, and member Mr. Ashok S, Manager Manufacturing of Toyota Kirloskar Auto Parts. We'd like to thank all of you for joining this session. The special address will be done by Mr. A.N. Chandramouli, Chairman of the Industry 4.0 Expert Committee, the BCIC, and the former President of the BCIC. Before we could get into this, a small announcement for the participants. We request you to kindly mute your mic at all times, and in case you ask a question, please raise your hand or post your questions only in the chat box so that it doesn't disturb the proceedings further. May I now invite Mr. Prakash G, the Chairman of the Manufacturing Expert Committee, BCIC, to share his views before we take the session forward. Over to you, Prakash Ji.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Prithvi. Welcome all the BCIC members and non-members for this session called as e-Kaizen. Although the word E has no relation to the electronic portion or anything, but I will just would like to give a background as to why we are doing this session. As rightly pointed out by Prithvi, this we have made this as a lead LEAD program, which means using the Kaizen, we should learn, engage, adopt, and disseminate. So it's the very summarized and very concise way of looking at the Kaizen itself, how to do it. The background I would like to give you through one of the slide which I want to share. Basically, Manufacturing Expert Committee has planned this kind of an activity for the entire year. The eminence, the government interaction, the outreach, the special projects, the governance, and member services. So under the member services, we have actually planned to launch Kaizen e-library for quick reference to all the members towards continuous improvement. And this session is the first of its session to educate and share the understanding of what is the meaning of Kaizen, why do we do Kaizen? And this is precisely done to enhance and build and enhance the Kaizen culture amongst the MSMEs. The Manufacturing Expert Committee has taken this initiative to develop Kaizen e-library for the benefit of the members in general and manufacturing organizations in particular. The curtain raiser event will be followed by, in the coming months, by the recognition of the best Kaizen through a process of self-declaration and then walk-in audits for selected companies. And of course, they will be recognized and appreciated very well. A panel of experts will be releasing the evaluation criteria and a Kaizen guideline handbook to enable them, all MSMEs, to participate and take part in this event. With this background, now I would like to invite our mentor, Dr. Devarajan, to address the members.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you, Prithvi, and welcome to Chandramouli. At the outset, very happy New Year to everyone of us here. And starting the new year after COVID and other precautions taken, I think we are now in an area where we are trying to raise our ambitions. It should be this year improvement in our volumes, in our business, 10x or 50x in terms of that growth. We have had a very poor the last 2 years, and we are trying to overcome that. But ambition and results are the most important thing. This requires a mass movement inside our own company. Continuous improvement, continuous area of next enhancement is required in all our companies. for our OEMs, to our own suppliers, to our own people. And hence, Kaizen becomes a very, very key area where we can focus among all of us in all areas. I think what Prakash was mentioning, e-Kaizen, probably Kaizen in everywhere can be the area in which we want to bring in and take it forward. The most important thing, according to me, in all these Kaizens is starting from the top. So we as the leaders in MSMEs, leaders in our own company, how we are able to make this movement happen. That's going to be the key thing for Kaizen to be successful and to be adopted and to be implemented and sustained, as what Prakash was mentioning in terms of the lead. So we should take the lead in terms of this particular activity. I'm sure many of the companies around this discussion today are all doing a lot of improvements. All are doing many improvements. Otherwise, without improvements, we can't survive. There are many waste we need to identify and reduce. So, but what is methodical improvement? Probably Chandramouli will bring that picture into our place. How to bring in the quality principles in Kaizen, how to bring in the teamwork into Kaizen starting from top. And we as all the members and leaders in the company, we should take it forward. So like what the main thing is how we are able to learn, unlearn, engage ourselves into it, adapt, and ensure that we disseminate these areas. And we have the best person today to talk about it. Chandramouli, with so many of years of experience in machine tools, into our own helping, and he's been a great mentor to all of us in this movement. And we'll also share many of our ideas. And I think Kaizen is a big activity. The system as well is big. Probably today may be an overview. Probably we may have to go into every area of 5 years into detail, into method, into team selection into detail, method of application, and taking it forward. I think it can be many more sessions like this after the overview by Chandramouli-san. So without taking much ado, I think Chandramouli has got a lot of slides to be presented and a lot of information. I invite now and wishing all of us the best of luck in this year and learning more and more to implement in this year. Thank you very much and welcome Chandramouli-san for this
Thank you, sir.
session. And we'll
Thank you.
really look forward for the excellent presentation by you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dr.
Prakash.
Devaraj, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Mr. Ashok S. to take over the proceeding and he'll be moderating the entire session. Over to you, Ashok, sir.
Yeah, good morning all, and wish you all a happy new year. And I think, as you all know, Mr. A.N. Chandramouli needs no introduction, as is so much well known in industry and industry bodies circle. However, to justify and reiterate to the audience, formally I'll introduce him briefly. Please let me share the screen so that you will be more clear and understand his so much detailed profile also. Please let me know once the screen is visible.
ಅವನಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇರಪ್ಪ ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸಾರಿ.
Hello, I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, yes, Ashok, it's visible.
Yeah,
you can start there.
Yes, Ashok, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Anyway,
Yes, yes.
I think A.N. Chandramouli is, as over last 4 decades, is in industrial industry circles basically, and he has held a lot of top and management and leadership positions in diverse industries such as machine tools like Starag, Makino, and electrical industries also like Lab Cooper, consumer durables like Amtrax, they make Hitachi appliances, and consumer products like Unilever also. And he has worked in Tata Motors, and he has contributed to the industry and society through his current and former positions, such as a member of Capital Goods Skill Council, subcommittee leader of Industry 4.0, and committee leader for Industry 4.0 through CI Karnataka, and Industry 4.0 chair in BCIC also, and presently also is the committee chair. And he is the founder, director, and member of Aerospace and Aviation Skill Council, and strategic advisor to industry interface consultant to Tata Indian Institute of Skills also. And he is a member of Operational Excellence Manufacturing Committee in CAI. And he has held many positions earlier as in Swiss Indian Skilling Organization, and former chairman of Quality Circle Forum of India. And he was BCIC president also earlier. And he was earlier executive committee member of IMTMA and Swiss India Chamber of Commerce, and WIDMA and this Indo-German Chamber of Commerce also is involved. And he was a board member at International School of Management Excellence also. And earlier from 2010, he was working in Starag India, where they are responsible for making this high-end technology machine tools. And they are making machine tools for different fields also. And before that, he was working in before the Starag, he was working as CEO of Makino India. As you know, it's a Japanese machine tool company. And he was responsible for setting up occasional training center at Makino to impart skills for CNC machine tool industry and its customers. He set up many technology centers across the nation at Makino. And he is highly passionate about technology collaboration, strategic alliances, project management, greenfield ventures, industrial product marketing, and product innovation also. And he's a well-known person among people for Gemba Kaizen also. That's why we have invited him for this curtain raiser event also. And quality management best practices, world-class manufacturing, skilling initiatives, and new age technologies such as digital manufacturing, team building, etc. And he has established his own independent management consultancy company called as Pro Bono, and is advising and mentoring startup ventures in industrial IoT, in aerospace manufacturing, training and operational excellence, and conducting awareness and training seminars, experiential tours in Industry 4.0, sales training for machine tool companies, and management education also. And is a graduate in mechanical engineering from NIT Trichy and postgraduate in management from Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. This is about brief introduction of Mr. Chandramouli. Anyway, I think many people knows about him also, and he has done a lot of other good works in the industry and industry circles. I think now onwards, I request A.N. Chandramouli to take over and take us through this curtain raiser event session. Request you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Ashok, Mr. Dr. Devarajan, Mr. Prakash, I hope I'm audible. Due to bandwidth, suddenly today the video is not working. My apologies for that. So I hope you'll not miss my face because yeah, right. I'm trying to see. Are you all able to see my screen?
Sir, not yet, sir.
My screen is not visible?
Yes, sir. I think now it's coming. Yeah, now it's visible.
Visible?
Yeah. You can put on slideshow and continue.
Great. So I think it's going back and forth to the slideshow. Now I think the slideshow is good. Yeah?
Yes.
So thank you, Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Thank you, Dr. Devarajan. Thank you, Mr. Prakash. Thank you, Mr. Ashok, once again, for giving me this opportunity, which is a golden opportunity I was looking for, to share my experience on this particular subject and a little bit of gyan, which I learned from many of my friends, including Dr. Devarajan and Prakash and Parshuraman and so on and so forth. And being a curtain raiser, I would like to, as Devarajan said, more of overview and more of what I call it as a purpose of doing things, right? The purpose of doing some project like a Kaizen event should be more important than the details of it. So I hope I'm able to move my slide. My second slide is coming, Prakash.
Yeah, it's okay. Please continue.
Okay, so I think I'll simply continue now without much ado. I want to elevate Kaizen to a strategic level in this forum, because in my opinion, it is not just an ordinary employee involvement program only. It is a key pillar, in my opinion and in my experience, for creating competitive advantage and business excellence. And business excellence is all about satisfying customer, the effectiveness and the efficiency. Effectiveness is to fulfill the customer's requirement. and efficiency is to fulfill it at the least cost or the minimum wastage. And competitive advantage is all about meeting the customers in faster, better, and cheaper manner. What can be a better program than Kaizen to achieve this faster, better, and cheaper? Because Kaizen connotes improvement. So faster is an improvement, better is an improvement, cheaper is an improvement. Cheaper not in the sense of the cheap quality, but lower cost. But for any program, I would like to offer my pranams. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible. Please continue.
Thank you. I would like to offer my pranams to my guru, Masaki Imai-san, who is a guru of Kaizen, who coined the term Kaizen. He registered the term Kaizen as a trademark, and I need to take his Ekalaiva tacit permission to use his word Kaizen. It is no more a generic term in the dictionary of chambers, but it is a trademark of Mr. Masaki Imai. Born in Tokyo, 1930. I don't know whether he's alive. I didn't check it. Founded the Kaizen Institute in 1986. There is a branch in India also, which is a virtual branch started by 5 founders in India. And he wrote the bestseller Kaizen, Key to Japan's Competitive Success way back in 1990s. And I was very lucky that one of my customers in my that career path presented me as a gift in 1986, I believe. And from that time, I became a fan of this philosophy, this project or technique or technology, whatever you call it. Later on, this book was translated in 14 languages. And let us hear from Mr. Masaki Imai himself about the concept. So I would like to start today's thing with a video. Before that, what is Kaizen? Why? How Kaizen? Where Kaizen? When Kaizen? The 5W and 1H. Dr. Devarajan always fondly remembers the 5W and 1H. So what is Kaizen is the most important thing. Kai is a change and Zen is for good. And I'm not an expert in Japanese language, but Masaki Imai himself will explain this. This slide is his own slide. I borrowed it, I would say, with the tacit permission. And change for the good, for the better. Next elevated state, as I mentioned, faster, better, and cheaper. And continual improvement. It is not a one-time improvement. It is a continual improvement, which is different from continuous improvement. I will explain that at a later slide. Moving on, the 2 path-breaking literature wrote by Masaki Imai himself. Fantastic book. I read in 1986 and I could not keep the book down. It is almost like a James Hadley Chase novel in those days. The key to Japan's competitive success. So I was not wrong in using the word competitive strategy because even Masaki Imai thought about it. And Gemba Kaizen is all about improvement in the workplace. Gemba being the workplace. So this is a path-breaking Bible. And Kaizen, as you can see, is a trademark. It was introduced in the Western world. Can you believe the Kaizen Institute is headquartered in Germany? Somewhere in Nuremberg or somewhere. A Japanese person established headquarters in Germany. I think it's Germany or Switzerland, let me recall. So you can believe that it's truly a global concept, no more a Japanese concept. And I'm very happy Mr. Prakash and Devarajan has taken initiative to bring it to in the platform of Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Let us now look at the video. I hope it is working. Some of you can tell me whether the audio and video is working.
Both are okay, sir. You can continue.
Is the sound coming?
Yes, yes.
It's a 4-minute video. Patiently listen. What Dr. Devarajan mentioned about e-Kaizen could be everywhere Kaizen. E could be employee, E could be everywhere, E could be electronic.
Today, I'm going to talk about Kaizen. And Kaizen is a Japanese word which means continual improvement. And we use these Chinese characters. This means Kai, and Kai means change. And Zen means, for the better. So together, Kaizen means continual improvement. At least, it has been common interpretation of the meaning of Kaizen. as the continual improvement. But I'm beginning to feel that continual improvement is not a good enough translation because it does not carry forward this tremendous self-discipline and the commitment that everybody has when doing Kaizen. So I now have a new interpretation of the word Kaizen. So I say Kaizen is everyday improvement, everybody improvement, and everywhere improvement. For instance, in some companies, people may have conducted some improvement project, such as Six Sigma, and they have completed some project 3 months ago, and they are now taking it easy. And they think maybe in 3 months from now, we are going to work on something new. But that is not everyday improvement. Well, if Kaizen is everyday improvement, well, as soon as you completed one project yesterday, you should be starting to do something today. And so every day is a challenge to find the better way of doing the things. So it gives a tremendous self-discipline and commitment. And so that is everyday improvement. And everybody improvement or everyone improvement means that normally many managers think that Kaizen is for those guys on the shop floors. Those are the guys that have to work on Kaizen. But that is the biggest mistake. Kaizen should start from the top. It should start from managers. And managers have to show its commitment, its determination, its guidance, so that everybody will be working on Kaizen. And for that matter, the top management of the company has the most important role in implementing this Kaizen approach. And then every manager. Then it goes down to rank and file employees. If you're employing some part-time people, they should also be involved. That is meaning of everyone. And thirdly, I say Kaizen is everywhere improvement. Many people think that Kaizen is on the shop floor, on the manufacturing environment. But Kaizen is everywhere. For instance, in the offices, in the admin offices, or where the technical people are developing a new process, new product, or this sales and marketing people talking to the customers. The Kaizen is everywhere. It's not limited to the shop floor. So Kaizen should be introduced as a company-wide program. So for all those reasons, I would say Kaizen is not simply a continual improvement, but it is everyday improvement, everybody improvement, and everywhere improvement. It's a tremendous, grand scale of company-wide improvement project.
Okay, okay. I hope all of you have enjoyed that. And I congratulate Dr. Devarajan, Mr. Prakash, Mr. Ashok to coin the word e-Kaizen. Coin the word e-Kaizen.
Yes,
E-Kaizen, Masaki is defined. Am I audible?
Sir, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Some audio came. E-Kaizen very clearly says, as Masaki Mai says, every day, everywhere, every function, and across the enterprise. The enterprise is E. So it's a very aptly chosen name by Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce. What does this images convey? You all can type in the text box. We may not have time to read all of them. In the next 30 seconds, you can type in the text box, what does this images convey? This image when somebody was on a treadmill. See this image when the water is coming into the washing machine through a small vessel, and this image of a snail, and this image of the boy climbing the ladder. Yeah, 30 seconds over. The first one, keep moving even to remain stable. The Kaizen philosophy is to keep moving even to remain stable. If you stop on the treadmill, you are going to fall down. So it is not only improvement, even to sustain your current business. My dear friends, please keep moving. The second picture is small progress takes you to the destination. The snail may be very slow, like the rabbit and tortoise story, but it ultimately takes you to the destination. Small progress takes you to the destination, right? And this one is nothing but a Kaizen itself, the Indian Jugaad. The Indian Jugaad Kaizen from a Google. You can see how the tap water could not reach the washing machine entrance, and they made a small Kaizen of introducing a small vessel. The tap water is receiving into the vessel, and from there it is pouring. It is a real life example I tend to download from the Google recently. And this picture came in WhatsApp last week. Never underestimate the importance of small steps. You see, you cannot climb such a, when the steps are too far away. The sour grapes and the fox story. The steps are too far away for the small young boy to climb. Many small steps easy to climb. He has already reached the top. So this is just a philosophical explanation. I hope you enjoyed this. Let us look at Kaizen in Japanese society. Kaizen in Japanese society, not even in industry. The hand wash sink. I think most of you would have seen the viral video in the WhatsApp. The hand wash sink combined with the wash basin, with the WC, with the space problem in Japan, they tried to do everything in compact manner. And also recently they placed the sanitizer also. No water is wasted. Muda is eliminated. No more wastage. Muda being the wastage. At the same time, water is available for the WC. Right? A brilliant Kaizen, which is why not we adopt globally. And then look at the restaurant design. Yeah, restaurant design. Of course, this is a global example, but most of the Japanese restaurants are like this. Every space, vertical space is utilized. At the same time, they feel the family atmosphere without any compromise on the welfare aspect of the society. And my good friend, Mr. Devarajan, once he shared with me the home Kaizens. Mr. Devarajan, I need your copyright to share this slide alone from you.
Yeah, please go ahead. I think this is all live. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you. This is the 7 home Kaizens of COVID-driven TVS motor Kaizens. Touchless calling bell, elbow-operated sanitizer stand, doormat sprayed with sanitizer, neem water at doorsteps, tray to receive milk sachet, soap oil to disinfect footwear, foot-operated door lock, so on and so forth. And the social distancing. Even Masaki Imai's Kaizen Institute introduced many Kaizen workshops to overcome the COVID. You can see in his website, and that is available. I don't want to go into the detail, but even in the middle of pandemic, how Kaizen helped us. These examples are self-explanatory. I'm not getting into the details. Thank you. I think TVS Motor has adopted entire villages to do the Kaizens across. Toyota has adopted entire societies to adopt the Kaizens across the globally. Now in this picture, are you all able to see this slide? What is common? Ashok?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, just to confirm that the slide is moving. The footwear, the refrigeration, switch gear and machine tool. I'm sorry, these are only some of my career milestones. Worked in footwear industry, worked in refrigeration industry, worked in switch gear industry, worked in machine tool industry. The only thing common for the 4 is not Chandramouli, but Kaizen. Introduced Kaizen here very successfully. 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 I would say the success of Kaizen is from the employee involvement in all these domains Around 1,000 people worked under me in this domain. Around 100 people worked under me in this domain. Around 300 people worked under me in this domain. Around 400 people worked under me in this domain. So it is not a sector specific or a function specific philosophy, as Masaki Imai said. It is everywhere Kaizen. My own Kaizen journey is an illustration. A quick illustration to get a flavor of it before I get into the real details of how we go about it is before Kaizen. In one of my companies where I worked, there is a problem that this particular oil inlet port was getting damaged during transit, and we engaged with a supplier who is a foreign supplier, and you can see the name of the gentleman, Mantira Murthy. At that time, he was growing in the organization. Today, he is a very senior person in the career, and he just discussed with the supplier. Immediately, they modified it. They changed it to an angle, and also they moved it to another side of that particular equipment. Basically it's an oil chiller, and then for the spindle cooling, and then no more damages. So it's a simple example of how we can improve the quality and as well as the productivity in the shop floor, as well as the productivity of the after sales service people, so on and so forth. Designed to after sales service, we can consider a cross-functional Kaizen in this process. Recently, in one of the companies, I have introduced cross-functional teams for improving throughput time delivery, cross-functional teams to improve the quality to the customer, the cost of quality and the warranty. So it's truly a powerful methodology called the cross-functional Kaizen groups. Thank you for your attention. This is a quality improvement Kaizen. And later on, I will share some more examples, time permits. But before that, again, we dwell into the purpose of why this curtain raiser program is organized by Mr. Prakash. Very timely in the new year, notwithstanding Corona wave 3, we have to understand the purpose and benefits of anything we do in our life, including a Kaizen or a e-Kaizen, right? The impact of Gemba Kaizen workshops, as declared by Masaki Imai-san, not my declaration, through the Kaizen workshops, 50 to 7% throughput time. The most important project of the just-in-time movement or the lean movement is reduction of the order to delivery time. Order to delivery time, throughput time in the production, in the supply chain system, from order to delivery. Most important target of the Japanese just-in-time movement is the throughput time. Unlike most people think it is for reduction of inventory, it is not so. And 20 to 40% increase in efficiency, 20 to 40% increase in expenses, including energy efficiency, labor cost, etc., etc. And above all, cost of quality, 40 to 60% reduction in errors through many systems, including Popayoke. And above all, greater than 50% release in space, right? My own experience in one of the machine tool company, how the space was managed in a factory in Indonesia. 100 machines were placed in a very small hall, Msme, in Indonesia, where one operator was running more than 5 machines through a toggle switch arrangement. The same project we did in Sundaram Clayton, previous group company in Chennai. And this is a kind of brilliant example where space management through Kaizen. Significant improvement in morale, obviously. All people are involved, everywhere, every day, everybody, every function Kaizen. And empowered human resource, people feel very charged, energetic. And above all, we can discover new capabilities by doing this in our small, micro and medium enterprises. We cannot ignore the power of Kaizen in small, micro and medium enterprises, which require the Kaizen movement much more than large and larger enterprises. And what are the benefits of Kaizen? The primary benefit of Kaizen is the quality improvement, followed by delivery improvement, including throughput time, takt time, cycle time, whatnot, cost improvement, safety improvement, and above all, I say above all because flexibility is a requirement of the 21st century with mass customized production system, flexibility of people, flexibility of machine tool, flexibility of manufacturing system, flexibility of methods, flexibility introduced through digital manufacturing, IoT, and so on and so forth. Flexibility is a key to the Kaizen movement also. And this Pentiod of Kaizen, Pentiod, Pentagon, Olympiad, Olympiad exams, some of you would have written, which is this terminology of Pentiod was coined by my guru, who was the managing director of Ponds India, Mr. Balaraman. I would like to recall his name today. and with very fondly, and introduced plenty-odd benefits of quality, delivery, safety, flexibility, and cost in a fast-moving consumer goods industry as well. And Kaizen delights all three. It delights the customer, it delights the employee, it delights the investor and the shareholder. How is it possible, sir? I thought Kaizen is just an ordinary shop floor improvement process. Now you are telling it is delighting customer also, it is delighting employee also, it is delighting shareholder also. My dear friends, you will be convinced at the end of today's workshop that how Kaizen can delight all the three is a triple dhamaka, 3-in-1 benefits, and you will see how it happens. Let us now pause, step back, and look at why we have so many concepts. Too many concepts being bombarded in our shop floors over the last 20-30 years. 5S, Kaizen, TQM, TPM, Lean, Six Sigma, quality circles, all of them are being bombarded, yeah, in our shop floors by various consultants, various leadership, various top management, and various philosophers coming and bombarding us with so many things. What is a common agenda? Common agenda, my dear friends, is total employee involvement. So e-Kaizen, I would like to expand that as employee Kaizen, everyday Kaizen, and as Masaki Moi says, every function, including office, including security guard, require a Kaizen. Other day I visited one of the companies and I told the managing director, there is a very interesting Kaizen required with the security guard to prevent the spread of COVID, starting at the security guard where most of the people are meeting in the morning and in the evening. So total employee involvement includes gardener, security guard, even non-manufacturing functions. Let me explain quickly why all this best practices. 5S, very, very briefly, is looking at the work organization and discipline of daily work. When I visited Breaks India in Cholingar, I see daily work management, DWM, and they make it into Tamil, daily work management, DWM, as Deivam. In Tamil, when you pronounce Deivam, DWM is like a god. And they do the DWM under the trees, under the banyan trees in Breaks India, Cholingar. Small and continual improvements, which is the topic of today. Team problem solving, which is the topic of quality circles. Produce what is required when it is required, which is a topic of lean and just in time. Maintain equipment for high productivity, total productive maintenance. Customer orientation in all functions and levels, total quality management. Minimize the variability in the processes, Six Sigma movement. Empowering teams for customer satisfaction, TEI. Gentlemen, now you see that there is a role to be played for each of the weapons that we talked about in the previous slide, namely this slide. 5S, Kaizen, TQM, TPM, Lean, Six Sigma, quality circle, all of them oriented towards the total employee involvement, which itself is again a project, and Dr. Devarajan can talk about that on one of these days in a series of workshop, total employee involvement. Dr. Devarajan made a presentation in one of the big forums, and it is a fantastic one, and he has been truly implementing it in his work life in the companies that he worked for, namely TVS Motor. And Kaizen, gentlemen, is an umbrella, ladies and gentlemen, is an umbrella. It includes several projects, including quality function deployment, total quality control, quality circles, suggestion systems, automation, total productive maintenance, Kanban, just in time, zero defect movement, small group activities, cross-functional teams, worker management relations, productivity improvement. You name it, you can put everything under this umbrella called Kaizen, because improvement is required in every one of our activity in our manufacturing system as well as in our society. And let me now move on to give an illustration why each of the various movements are related to Kaizen in one way or the other. 5S and Kaizen. We have this project of sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. We are all very familiar with 5S. I don't want to dwell on it. But at every stage of 5S, there is an elimination of wastage, there is an elimination of variability in the process, and there is a elimination of strain or difficulty to do the work. The Muda, the Mura, and the Muri, I will explain these three Japanese terminologies, Muda, Mura, and Muri. And Kaizen is a major contribution for 5S. And 5S is a major contribution for Kaizen. These two are interrelated projects and interrelated philosophies, as you could understand in the concept of 5S versus Kaizen. World-class manufacturing, again is related to Kaizen, because the improvement of quality, improvement of delivery, improvement of cost, and this was introduced by Mr. Richard Schonberger in the 1970s. He wrote the book on world-class manufacturing. He has trademarked this terminology called WCM. It belongs to him, like Kaizen belongs to Masaki Imai. And I honorably recall his name today. And it's a great honor to meet him in Bangalore. One day he came down in one of the hotels in northern Bangalore. And when I talked to him, I found that he is really a walking library of these topics. And let us just pause and have a look at what is the basic difference between conventional wisdom and the Japanese concept. Why Kaizen is different from the conventional wisdom. Quality, lot size, workers. This I extracted from Masaki Imai's book, 1986, on the book called Kaizen. The higher quality leads to higher costs, is the belief of the Western world. The Japanese think higher quality leads to lower costs. Lot size. Western world thinks larger lots lead to lower costs. Better to produce big volumes. Western world thinks. Japanese thinks smaller lots lead to lower costs. Exactly the opposite. Workers. Western world thinks workers do not need to be taken into account. Ideas of improvement come from management. Japanese think a thinking worker is a productive worker. The best ideas for improvement come from people closest to the bottom. Totally a revolutionary concept, different from the Western world vis-a-vis the Japanese concept. 1986, this was identified in his book, Mr. Masaki Imai. And in Schonberger, the same thing in world-class manufacturing. He propagated around the same time. He is also a strong believer of Japanese philosophy. And 1986, he wrote 2 books. One is Just in Time, another is Case Studies of Just in Time. I request Prakash to create a library of all these books, e-books, Amazon books, whatever it is, and create this as a powerful weapon for all our members of BCIC. The goal of world-class manufacturing is continual and rapid improvement. Through the quality path, do it right the first time. Through the just-in-time path, smaller the lot, better it is. And to the total productivity maintenance path, that the owner of the machine is the operator himself and not maintenance department. The goal of the world-class manufacturing is again exactly the goal of Kaizen movement. Now let's look at, gentlemen, a very, very interesting chart I adapted from Masaki Imai book 1986 Kaizen on page 24. Very, very important. What is the biggest difference between Kaizen and innovation? Right? I'm just giving a flavor today. I'm not going slowly. It is not a master class, but it's kind of a awareness creation today. Very quickly, if you look at it, what is the effect of Kaizen? What is the speed in which we have to do Kaizen? What is the time frame, milestones to do the Kaizen? And what kind of change it brought about? And what is the involvement? Who is involved? What is the approach? What is the method or the mode? What creates a trigger? What is the spark? And what are the requirements? And what is the effort orientation? Whom should we target? Effort orientation means whom should we target? And what is the evaluation? How to evaluate the results? And finally, what are the advantages? This is a beautiful 12-point criteria to compare Kaizen and innovation. I will share this slide. As I was reading, I'm sure you would have read this. The most important thing is in the Kaizen, we take very small steps. In innovation, we take very big steps. In Kaizen, there is a people-oriented and people-targeted, people involvement movement. In innovation, it's a technology-oriented movement. It is not just the people-oriented, but technology-oriented. And there are many, many, many interesting differences to compare the Kaizen and innovation. One of the very, very important things is in my opinion, my experience, very little investment, almost like a zero cost. Karakuri Kaizen, Karakuri automation, almost at zero cost. When you do not need electricity, pneumatics, and hydraulics, why do you need an automation like robotics? Karakuri Kaizen is good enough. In innovation requires a very large investments, but effort required may be very little for maintaining. But when you do the Kaizen, you have to sustain it with involving everybody through collectivism, and in order that you need to maintain and improve, go on maintaining and improving, and in a continual improvement fashion. Very important slide. I can share this with you in your e-Kaizen book. And the process orientation. Hello? Am I okay in terms of speed, in terms of volume, in terms of
Yes,
audio?
absolutely fine. You can continue.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The process orientation. Masaki Mai says the Western world is always looking at result orientation. Nothing wrong. Quarterly profitability is extremely important. Result oriented. Bhagwan Krishna told in Gita, be process oriented, result will automatically happen. Result apne pa jayega. And that is what Masaki Imai and the Japanese believe. The process oriented criteria emphasize the long term performance in the contrast to the result oriented criteria, which focus on the short term performance. Today, the Toyota in Bangalore is so successful, the TVS motor in Bangalore is so successful because they were never upset with short term losses and short term setbacks, always looking at the long term. It is an improvement orientation. In result orientation, looks at more often carrot and stick, rewards, bonuses. We know how the people are fired and hired, and then we talk about bonuses in terms of in the Western world, whereas here in the Japanese world, the reward is the improvement itself. It's an intrinsic reward. And in process oriented, we look at the whole system view, entire system, entire process designed to after sales service have to achieve the results. And above all, people oriented criteria such as discipline, time management, skill development, participation, morale, communication. Moment you do process oriented approach, you look at all the people oriented requirements, and that is why Japanese are more successful and taken the world by storm. And let me tell you, problems are like onions. Kaizen is also a problem solving tool. Like the several problem solving tools of quality circles, Kaizen is the most important problem solving tool. I would call it as a problem solving tool, even more important than the quality circle problem solving tools. Every problem, big or small, are like onions. By peeling them one layer at a time, you try to solve the problem. The core of the onion has a solution. The core of the onion has got a solution, after which you cannot peel off the onion. And that concept is the Ishikawa diagram called the root cause analysis. You are all very, very familiar with that. And Prakashji is making a note to make a good training program on Ishikawa diagram. And the problem solving tools, with a creative problem solving tools, involves a reflection, an awareness, gather information, data, analyze the data, vision and planning, and implement the plan. And very, very important in this big slide is cross-functional. A key idea of problem solving is involve every function through a cross-functional quality circle or a cross-functional group Kaizen. And my experiment is going on with one of the MSMEs in Northern India. That very, very successful experiment going on. 1 year from now, I will share with you the outcome of cross-functional group Kaizen movement to improve customer-oriented delivery, to improve customer-oriented quality. And let me tell you, Kaizen scheme. You put the Kaizen suggestion scheme versus Kaizen scheme. You put the suggestion into the box, what happens? It never gets out of the box. We see this box in many, many companies. Bharat Heavy Electricals, BHEL started this. They used to get 5,000 suggestions in the box every year. But only 100 of them were taken out of the box. Rest of them were catching dust inside the box. But later on, Bharat Heavy Electricals scrapped the movement. They were the first pioneering people to introduce quality circles. They introduced 5,000 quality circles in Tiruchirappalli BHEL alone. And therefore, the improvement happened when they changed the methodology from suggestion scheme. The problems of suggestion scheme, top management involvement is missing. Company-wide movement is not happening. Emphasis on implementation, very, very important point. The biggest difference between Kaizen and other methods is implemented improvement is only acknowledged as Kaizen. In the experience that I have in the last 40 years, wherever I implemented Kaizen, we acknowledge it only after implementation. Some of the audience today, I hope they can share with us at 12:15 their own experience. Yeah, I will call upon a few names I saw in today's participant list. And above all, in suggestion scheme, The emphasis of continual improvement is missing. And so, gentlemen, I introduced in the various companies an assessment methodology. Assessment is very, very important across a pentaod of quality, delivery, cost, safety, housekeeping, and productivity. When you do the assessment on across dimensions, 6 dimensions or 5 dimensions like this, we must look into the originality of the idea, the multiple impacts of the idea, such as what I have shown here, the business impact of the idea. Is it really satisfying the customer better than before through quality improvement, delivery improvement, cost improvement, and flexibility? I must introduce now the pentagon is becoming bigger and bigger. It is becoming hexagon, it is becoming octagon, because flexibility is a key point being added to this pentagon now, right? Innovation can be included, but not the way we described earlier. But we are talking about an innovative element in the Kaizen. That means it should have a pioneering, first-time breakthrough kind of. The implementation, as I already mentioned, very important criteria for evaluation. Ashok ji, when we talk about the e-book guideline, kindly look into these criteria for including in our e-book. Benefits realized, as mentioned here, must be measured in quantitative terms and, if possible, in monetary terms. For example, quality improvement can be measured as quality improvement criteria, cost of quality reduction. Everything has got a two-pronged approach. Delivery can be a delivery improvement criteria, reduction of throughput time, and reduction of inventory in the work in progress, and so on and so forth. The benefits realized are very, very important in measurement of Kaizen. And above all, very, very important, very low cost investment, Karakuri, zero cost improvement. When Mr. Modi introduced zero effect, zero defect, I would like him to include zero cost. Zero effect, zero defect, zero cost. ZED movement should be enhanced as ZECD. Zero effect, zero cost, zero defect movement. And these and many more criteria we can use for our evaluation of the Kaizens given by our employees across the company. Now I want to come back and discuss with you the concept of continual improvement. We talk about continual improvement many times. What is the difference between continuous improvement and continual improvement? Even though I have written continuous improvement here, you will see this picture will tell you the improvement is not only continuous but also continual. The difference, gentlemen, is Pdca cycle. The Pdca cycle, the moment you do a Kaizen, you need to do evaluation. You need to check whether it is creating any other problem, whether any negative issues coming due to the Kaizen. And once the evaluation is done, you try to implement in a small area of work. In a small area of work, you do a prototype of the Kaizen. Do not expand across the company without testing the hypothesis. And then once you implement in a small area, expand it through horizontal deployment across the company and standardize the work. The key word in Toyota management system, Toyota production system, is standardized work, which looks like such a simple concept, but more often than not, we ignore this point about standardized work. And through the Kaizen movement, you create a standardized work. After every improvement, we must standardize. The horizontal line talks about standardization, stabilization. That's why when Devarajan presented once, he said PDCA introduced in between one S, PDSCA, right? Something like that has to be there in our system, so that when you climb the mountain very fast, you tend to fall down. But whenever you climb the Tirupati hills and take a rest after every 100 steps, take a rest after every 200 steps, take a rest after every 300 steps, you can reach Mr. Balaji, I mean God Balaji, at the top of the Tirupati hills at the end of your journey by continual improvement rather than continuous improvement, which is alluded by the sloping graph here. The time axis and the improvement axis is covered in this concept of continual improvement. And quality circle, already I mentioned to you, fishbone diagram, root cause analysis is the most important tool among the 14 QC tools of quality circles. But the fishbone diagram has got many variants. A quantified fishbone diagram, fishbone diagram with value charts under each of the root causes, the root cause of the root cause through 5 why analysis, the root cause of the root cause through why analysis, and so on and so forth. So over a period, the simple cause and effect diagram, I've gone through many things. You might ask me, sir, why are you bringing it in Kaizen workshop? Yes, a group Kaizen, when all the employees are involved, a cross-functional Kaizen, when various functions are involved. Again, we look at the perspectives coming from design department, perspectives coming from machining department, perspective coming from assembly department, perspective coming from inspection department, quality departments, metrology departments, perspective coming from service department, and above all, perspective coming from support functions such as HR, etc., and all the functions when they contribute to the problem solving, troubleshooting approach. You get a sustainable Kaizen for improvement, and that can be implemented with confidence, and the prototype will be successful, and you don't have to worry. You can confidently go ahead. There will be no criticism by other functions. So when you do a functional Kaizen, that is one approach, and there is another approach called group Kaizen. Even Masaki Imai talks about group Kaizen in his very first book in 1986, which is actually alluding to the quality circles. But quality circle in functional area, quality circle in cross-functional area, both I would recommend strongly to be implemented in our Bible called e-Kaizen book by Mr. Ashok. And what is the benefits of the group Kaizen? This picture will talk volumes. This picture will talk volumes. The flamingo bird which is flying, each of the bird will take a turn. When this guy gets weaker, another bird will take over. And each, when this go in this kind of a pattern, in this kind of a configuration of the birds, they get a fantastic velocity to even travel 10,000 kilometers from the northernmost part of Africa to the southernmost part of Africa. This is a picture which is a real life thing, and you can Google it and find many explanations of this particular. And therefore, a group approach is always useful, because an individual thinking is not as effective as a group thinking, because group thinking brings a holistic solution. Group thinking is very useful for implementation, very quick to implement and acceptable by all functions, and therefore the success rate of a group Kaizen is much more powerful than the success rate of individual Kaizen. Even though idea generation happens at the individual level, I request all of you to bring it quickly to a group for evaluation. And so in the companies I work for, I created a Kaizen committee. A Kaizen committee is formed when one person is presenting the Kaizen on the board. The Kaizen committee is evaluating as a cross-functional group, and then they know what are the various benefits of that particular Kaizen being presented, and immediately it is implemented, horizontally deployed across functions, across departments, across processes, across units, and even into your supply chain, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 organizations, job shops, dealers, so on and so forth. So therefore, a collective intelligence is more powerful than an individual intelligence. And therefore, gentlemen, the concept of cell manufacturing captures the same issue of a group methodology, of a group technology. In those days, cell manufacturing was called a group technology. The group technology can be for one process, group technology can be for multiple processes in a sequence, and group technology can be for a combination of a sequential or parallel processes. The just-in-time concept is powerfully implemented. When I did in Cooper Busman in Pondicherry, I converted long conveyors which are producing 4,000 pieces as one batch. Can you believe 4,000 pieces in one batch? Ridiculous. There are huge quality problems. And in 3 months' time, we brought the quality problem to zero defect. Zero defect. Believe me or not, zero defect. They were electrical items. You cannot afford to have any defect in that, because a defective electrical product can create a safety issue. How did we do it? We converted this 4,000 batch size as 40. One tray is 40. Each tray in this is a 40 pieces. Although we could not do a single piece flow, which required additional level of automation. We did a Karakuri automation, low cost automation, and the operators were very delighted. They were totally involved. In those days, we had a barcode for the operator, we had a barcode for the tray, and a barcode for the finished product. And the benefits are many, many, many. And these are all captured under the concept of lean manufacturing, small lot size, full system, Kanban system, no buffers, only flow process, etc. etc. Another day we will talk about lean manufacturing. I think our TPS experts, Mr. Prakash, Mr. Parasuraman, they're all waiting to conduct such workshops. And very, very important, there is a maturity level. I don't want to dwell on this very big chart. I will share with you. It is borrowed from Kaizen Institute. How do we look at the various tools for Kaizen? What are the various action points? What is the focus of the various action points? And how, in which functions we should do it in the company, and for what situations we should do. Particularly, this chart is made for reduction of cost of quality. Reduction of cost of quality, a concept introduced by Mr. Phil Crosby and Masaki Imai, integrated the cost of quality, quality management maturity grid, QMMG, quality management maturity grid, and cost of quality was in a book by Mr. Phil Crosby. The book is called Quality is Free. You all can buy in the library for BCIC. The Kaizen Institute borrowed this concept and created this chart for reduction of cost of quality. How do we do zero defects? Level 4. Defects should not leave the process. Level 3. Defects should be reduced. Level 2. Defects should not leave the company. Level 1. Defects were leaving the company. Level 0. That means from level 0 defects leaving the company to level 4 0 defects, there is a journey of operations. The journey, many defects, many complaints. Eliminate complaints and inspection. Don't make defects improvement. Do not pass defects to the next process. Prevent the errors from becoming defects. Big journey is happening, and this journey, there is a Pdca SDCA cycle, there is a structured problem solving, there is a quality matrix methodology, there is a quality matrix methodology. All this you can look at in your workshops when you are implementing Kaizen across the companies. Well, gentlemen, Kaizen and TPM. Kaizen and TPM. Even one of the pillars of TPM is called Kobetsu Kaizen, continuous improvement. One of the 8 pillars of TPM, Kobetsu Kaizen, continuous improvement. Autonomous maintenance, preventive maintenance, training and education, startup monitoring, quality management system, TPM in office administration, safety, health, work environment. In all this, the first pillar you see, continual improvement. See how beautifully the TPM 8 pillars are conceived. The 5S being the foundation, and the result is customer satisfaction. Now, in the Kaizen journey, in my experience, who is the focus? The focus is customer on the one hand, and the focus is supplier on the other hand. We are the factory. The factory is in the middle, customer interface, supplier interface. And the Kaizen is a foundation. Process flow is a focus. Quality is a focus. Equipment is a focus. Support systems is a focus. And all these are interconnected. Process flow, quality, equipment, and support systems are all interconnected in the factory. And people are involved in all these steps involved. People are involved in process, involved in quality, involved in equipment selection, equipment maintenance, and people are involved in support systems. And the leadership is very, very important. It's a top-down approach, and the entire business enterprise is involved in. I'll just move on this animation. You can see the past situation could be anything. Don't worry. Do the current diagnosis, apply the Kaizen strategy, and then you will reach the vision in the future. The improvement philosophy, it is not just an ordinary Gemba Kaizen. It has got direct relationship to customer satisfaction, direct relationship to supplier improvement, and finally, the defects will come crashing, the wastages will come crashing, the losses will come crashing, and then all stakeholders will become happy, and you can see everybody will be involved, including employees, shareholder, etc. and competitors also will start emulating you. And without doing Kaizen, you will be able to, if the competitors are not doing Kaizen, you will have a head start. The cumulative of all the Kaizens that you do over 20-30 years, take TVS Motor, Toyota, etc. example, Volvo is an example, Mr. Indu Shekhar. If you take the cumulative of all the Kaizens of the last 20-30 years, that is nothing but a powerful competitive strategy against the competitors in which they are working. So, in order to summarize, I made this slide. Kaizen is very easy to understand, easy to implement. I will explain. All functions can participate, does not involve much cost, does not require major tools and qualifications. You need not even be SLC or 12th or 10th pass. Every employee in my factory, in the footwear factory, people who are not even 5th pass, 6th pass, they have not even passed the school, but all of them are involved in Kaizen movement. They did a brilliant Kaizen in the export manufacturing of shoes. That is 1986 I'm talking about. And in machine tool industry, of course, people are highly qualified, but can we introduce Kaizen even for the low qualified people? ITIs, 10th standard, 12th standard, very powerful Kaizens were brought in by, and it can be implemented by in MSMEs, very, very useful for MSMEs, most accepted by trade union. I had trade unions in all the companies I worked for, and I did not have any union problem because from day one, they are all involved in the Kaizen movement, and the Kaizen is highly rewarding. We'll talk about the reward concept later on. It's not at all expensive for training, and cross-cultural, cross-sectoral, cross-functional. Cross-cultural, whether it is Indian company, Japanese company, German company, Swiss company, American company, in all of them, it was successful in my experience. Cross-sectoral, whether it is the consumer products, durables, refrigerators, electrical products, machine tools, all aerospace, everywhere it is successful. Cross-functional, whether it is a shop floor or design, after-sale service, it is very, very successful. So I think there is no doubt in our mind in this curtain raiser program that the Kaizen is the only way to go for, and I'm very happy that Prakash and Devarajan put together. In the next few minutes, until probably 12 o'clock, I will cover the what and how of Kaizen. The procedure part I will not dwell upon. We will have it a separate session on that, and maybe there will be more speakers on the day. We will have a workshop kind of thing, and I will also contribute. And then let us look at some of the concepts here. Of course, we already talked about Kai plus Zen. The paradigm is process observation. Process observation. Genji Gembutsu. Genji Gembutsu. Mr. Parasuraman always insists, our past president. Genji Gembutsu. Key principle of total Toyota production system. Toyota production system. Do not make a suggestion without observing the process. Without observing the process, do not make a suggestion. Do not implement a Kaizen. For example, look at this machine assembly problem I had in one of my companies, not to mention which company. See, this person is thinking, is observing, focused observation like a tiger. Focused observation like a tiger. Before the tiger pounces on the deer, the animal deer. In our case, the animal deer is nothing but the Muda, Mura and Muri. The tiger is nothing but the Kaizen. The Kaizen is pouncing on the deer. Before it pounces, it makes a deep observation. The elbow, in this case, I could not remove. If I have to remove the linear motion guide, I need to remove the elbow. But if I remove the elbow, the lubrication system will be affected. The factory assembly is always superior to what we do in the field, in the service area. By a simple Kaizen, my operator, my shop floor assembly operator, came with a brilliant Kaizen to ensure that this elbow can be removed easily, and also we can remove the linear guide very, very easily. Is a horizontal machining center in our own actual machine assembly. By focused observation, I am not showing you how we improved it. Maybe there are other examples coming later, time permits. But I'm just giving you a flavor that the smallest observation with a focused observation. Why focus? The focus is very, very important, my dear friends. When you put a lens, the paper can be burnt. When you don't put a lens, You put any amount of paper under sunlight, the paper does not burn. The focus is nothing but the Kaizen. A little energy, but concentrated and aligned. Aligned is very, very important word. Concentrated and aligned. Aligned with man, aligned with machine, aligned with material, aligned with methods. Enables significant improvements. Small effort required, but rapid progress. Horizontal deployment will create a rapid progress, scaling up of the implemented Kaizen. So the focused improvement is, actually I borrowed this from Kaizen Institute. Thank you, Mr. Masaki Imai. The focused improvement is very, very important, which is unlike a suggestion scheme. You write a paper and you put it in the box. Nobody focuses on the observation. Genji Gembutsu. And the characteristics already mentioned, process improvement, strategically important areas, prioritize strategically important areas. You can bring in large improvement by a cumulative Kaizen approach. By a continual improvement approach, improvement upon improvement upon improvement upon improvement. I'll illustrate by an example soon. How we did improvement upon improvement upon improvement creates a very large improvement. Delta 1 plus delta 2 plus delta 3 is greater than, delta 1 into delta 2 into delta 3. Sustainable improvement. How to make sure it is not lost, the gains are not lost. And speedily executed improvements. How to do it fast, implement it fast. Now I come to the very, very basics of Kaizen. Masaki Imai declared in 1986. Masaki Imai declared in 1986. Ashok, can you see this slide?
Yes, sir. Continue.
This is a core slide of our today's presentation. The customer is in the middle. The employee is in the middle. The stakeholder is in the middle. The shareholder is in the middle. All are smiling. By eliminating quality problems, by eliminating delivery related problems, by eliminating cost related problems. Sir, how did you come from Mura, Muri and Muda with quality, delivery and cost? This is part of my own personal research. This is not from Masaki Imai. Mura, the variation in the way we do the process. The process variations built in the Mura. If you eliminate the Mura, you eliminate the process variation, you get quality improvement. Muri, if you eliminate the difficulty in doing the work, if you eliminate the strain in doing the work, people work with higher productivity, you eliminate various bottlenecks in the shop floor, including assembly bottlenecks, including machining bottlenecks. You eliminate all the strains in materials, movement, material handling, etc., etc. Automatically your throughput time will come down and the delivery will improve. Muda. My friend Parasuraman says there are 16 wastes in the shop floor. 7 wastes plus 7 wastes plus 2 wastes. And the 16 wastes Muda, when you eliminate the Muda, automatically when the waste is eliminated, you get a fantastic cost reduction. Therefore, gentlemen, Mura leads to quality improvement, Muri leads to delivery improvement, and Muda leads to cost improvement. The beautiful aspect of Kaizen is when you do the Mura, Muri and Muda, you get faster, better and cheaper. Delivery improvement faster, quality improvement better, cost improvement cheaper. So Masaki Imai is right. There are only 3 types of problems. Mura types of problem, Muri type of problem, Muda type of problem. But he went on to say in his book, famous book in 1986, that the Mura can be man, Muri can be man, Muda can be man. The losses can be caused by man-related wastages, man-related defects, errors, and man-related bottlenecks in the production. Similarly, machine-related, similarly, material-related, similarly, method-related. When you multiply the 4 M's by the 3 Muras, 3 MUs, Mura, Muri, and Muda, 4 into 3, 12-point improvement opportunity. Masaki Imai declared there are only 12-point improvement opportunity. And so he goes on to explain what is Muda, value adding activity, non-value adding activity. The one which adds value to the customer is a value-adding activity. The one which does not add value to the customer, for which customer is not willing to pay for. You see, the blue colors, they are all the non-value-adding activity. The white colors, there are only few whites, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But there are several blues, several non-value-adding activity. Process steps that take time, that take resources, that take space, but do not add any value to the product or a service and not add value to the customer also. So an activity contains actual work, value-adding work, and it contains muda, waste or losses. So if you can eliminate the muda, the waste or the losses through the Kaizen program, you get a very powerful improvement in your cost position. Competitive advantage through cost reduction, gentlemen, is created by muda elimination. Number one project of Kaizen is muda elimination. And the types of mudas, examples, rejection, rework, waiting time, inventory, transport, overproduction, motion, etc., over processing. All of them can be thrown into the trash bin. And in the Kaizen cycle, identify the muda, search for the causes, for the root cause of the muda, eliminate, implement the muda. By implementing Kaizen, eliminate the muda, check the results, again improve further by eliminating further muda. Kaizen on Kaizen on Kaizen on Kaizen. K1 plus K2 plus K3 plus K4 gives a large Kaizen improvement in the elimination of muda. That's a Kaizen cycle. Kaizen cycle. Like a Pdca cycle, you get a Kaizen cycle. Mura. Any inconsistency or irregularity in the product, processes, systems, or results is called Mura. List of Mura. It can happen sometimes, it can happen to some people, it can happen to some places, keeps fluctuating, it may be not predictable at all. And this causes primarily quality problems. Primarily quality problems. Muri. Any avoidable physical strain of operators, employees is Muri. Anything difficult, dirty, dangerous, distancing, etc., etc., dull, dirty, dangerous, distancing, Muri. When Muri is present, ideal situation for automation. Karakuri automation, low-cost automation, robotic automation, gantry automation, whichever automation you do primarily to eliminate Muri. In the case of Mura, the Mura can be people-related Mura, variation caused by people, variation caused by machines, as we mentioned in CPCPK of machines, variation caused by materials coming from suppliers, variation caused by methods of doing the work. So all the three, Masaki Imai, I borrow from page number 231, the appendix of Masaki Imai, all the three, Muda, Mura and Muri, can be created in the form of a checklist. Manpower related Muda, technique related Muda, method related Muda, time related Muda, facility related Muda, jigs and tools related Muda, material related Muda, production time related Muda, inventory related Muda, place related Muda, way of thinking also could be a Muda. Like that, you think in the case of Mura, he created a question bank. Ashok ji, in your e-book, created a question bank from Masaki Imai in 1986. That will be a very powerful concept for small and medium enterprises. How does a question bank look like? For example, the 4M checklist, man, appendix 231 of Masaki Imai. Man, does he follow the standards? Is he work efficient, acceptable? Is he problem conscious? Is he responsible and accountable? Is he qualified? Is he experienced? Is he assigned to do the right job? Is he the authorized person? Is he willing to improve? Does he maintain good human relations? Is he fit and healthy? Like that, there are questions for machine. I don't want to read all of them. Please refer to Masaki Imai, page number 231. Material, method, 4M checklist. He has made everything for us ready. Masaki Imai has made everything ready. We can expand the questions. Of course, we can put another 10 questions under man. another 10 questions under machine, another 10 questions under material, another 10 questions under method, and then you get a focused observation. Genji Gembutsu. Focused observation. He went on. Masaki Imai is a Bible. Page number 235. Who, what, where, when, why, how, who does it, who is doing it, who should be doing it, who else can do it, who else should do it, who is doing Mudamura Muri, what to do, what is being done, what should be done, what else can be done, what else should be done, what Mudamura Muri are being done. Imagine the same questioning you do for all the 6 and for all the 4 M's and all the 3 MUs. You get more than 300 to 400 questions. Gentlemen, ladies, these are not mine. These are Masaki Imai. And so with all that, you can bring in quality improvement. You can bring in delivery improvement. You can bring in cost improvement. Conformance to customers' requirement. Zero defect. Cost of non-conformance. Cost of quality. Prevention. Order to delivery time. Expected time. Supplier lead times. Throughput times. Value derived by customer. Competitive advantage. Non-value adding activities. War on waste. You can create KPIs, metrics for all these parameters. For quality parameters, delivery parameters, cost parameters. And the Kaizen will help you to implement faster, better and cheaper at the company level, at the customer level, at the supplier level, and we develop by this competitive advantage. Competitive advantage. How competitive advantage? I'll explain that by this. I'll explain it later. Yeah. But before that, we'll look at how does Kaizen improve effectiveness and efficiency. Quality and delivery improve effectiveness. Customer goals. Quality and delivery fulfills the customer's goals. That is his expectation. Customer wants perfect quality or conformance to his requirements. Customer wants delivery as per his requirement. And Kaizen makes quality improvement, delivery improvement. And customer wants the best price. For the given quality, he wants the best price. For the given delivery schedule, he wants the best price. Therefore, the company has to be very, very efficient in delivering the goods. Efficiency in product and services. These are company customer goals. These are company's goals. These are not Masaki Imai, my own research. And therefore, QDC creates a business excellence. The balancing act of QD on the one hand and the cost on the other hand. You need to balance it out without creating an imbalance. You have to be very, very tightrope walking, and then you can be very, very successful. Both company and customer will be happy in this process. And again, coming back, many people have a doubt. Sir, when we do quality improvement, it affects delivery. When we do cost improvement, it affects cost. Yes. Now, in Kaizen philosophy, we can improve all the 3 with a balanced approach so that you don't have a conflict between quality improvement, between delivery improvement, between cost improvement. There is no conflict between the 3 goals, the quality, delivery and cost, and recently added 4th goal called flexibility. Q, D, C and F. I hope Masaki Imai also doing a lot of work on the topic of flexibility, and flexibility is a 4th competitive weapon which is coming up in the digital manufacturing era. Gentlemen, flexibility requires industry 4.0. Another day we'll talk about that point. The improvement over time and improvement over space. Very, very important. Continual improvement, Monday to Tuesday, Tuesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday, 8:30 to 9:30, 9:30 to 10:30, 10:30 to 11:30, 2021 to 2022, January to February, February to March, improvement over time, improvement over space, which means our own shop floor, one should be better than another shop floor. We should be better than the competitor. One supplier should be better than another supplier. One country should be better than another country. One city should be better than another city. Improvement over space. So many improvements happen over time and over space by the concept of I'm not getting into the video. Let's move on. There are many examples. Improvement on improvement on improvement on improvement. In one company, an ordinary employee, ITI, his name is Manu, ordinary employee. Initially, they arrange all the trays, Kaizen number 1. Then they labeled all the trays, Kaizen number 2. It may look very simple, straightforward requirements. From a OEM perspective, you are doing it all the time. But can we do it in our small and medium enterprises? Arrangement of trays, labeling of trays. Now in the digital era, barcoding of the trays. And
Hello.
RFID can bring in.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you. So I don't want to show all the examples. We will talk about it another day. Now, very quickly, I want to move on to the celebration aspect. There are many examples. Competitive strategy, I already touched upon. When we improve quality delivery, we get a differentiation strategy. When we improve cost, we get a cost leadership strategy. My friend Michael Porter, my guru, he talked about differentiation strategy and cost leadership strategy. And when you do both of them, you get a powerful competitive strategy. So Kaizen philosophy is related to competitive strategy, right? It's 12 o'clock now. Very quickly, we move on. This is a very important point in the next 10 minutes. How do we involve people? Now I talk about the people area. The next 10 minutes, then we hand over for Q&A session to Ashok. The many bottlenecks in our thinking process. I have done it before, it did not work. It is not my idea, it will not work. Why change when I am comfortable? Nobody has ever tried, so it will not work. Let us dwell on this slide like a meditation. Let us meditate on this slide for 30 seconds. Stumbling blocks for change. I have done it before, it did not work. It is not my idea, it will not work. Why change when I am comfortable? Nobody has ever tried, so it will not work. These are the classic people-related problems. When we eliminated the people-related problems, we celebrate the Kaizen. Jiro Makino, the founder of Makino-san, Sankaran-san, the late Mr. Sankaran-san, my guru, and all our colleagues. I'm very happy to share this slide. I know some of the people from Makino are participating today. Celebration every month 7th celebration. And look at what we are giving them. Small books on quality, small books on Kaizen, etc. from Gangaram Publishers in MG Road, Bangalore. Every 7th. And sometimes we wait for our colleagues to arrive from Japan, Singapore, or even our customers come. We make that opportunity. And sometimes it may not be on 7th of every month, it may be another date. But celebration is the best way to reward Kaizen. Do not encourage monetary reward. Eliminate monetary rewards. Only books. Or send him for a training program at the company cost. These are the kind of celebrations. Or even you can send them for certain picnics and tours. By doing all this across the functions, from design to after sale service, I enjoyed in the career of mine in the 4 decades, the chain of customers from design to after sale service. How this is possible? Borrowing from Masaki Imai, the focus of the traditional organization, top management, middle management, Gemba. But customer expectations are fed into the Gemba. Customer satisfaction is done by the Gemba. But we think customer expectation are coming to middle management and top management, and customer satisfaction, we think it is done by top management and middle management. No. Look at the other slide. Actually, Gemba should be the top. The shop floor should have the biggest power. In the digital era, in Industry 4.0 era, the Gemba is going to become more and more powerful. The shop floor, the workplace will become more and more powerful. I am not saying power in the concept of politics and power, but I am saying the most important function is the shop floor. The customer expectations are fed to the shop floor. The value adding activity are done by the shop floor. The customer is satisfied by the shop floor. Then what is the purpose of middle management, top management? They are not eliminated. They are here to support the Gemba. How to support the Gemba? The Gemba is supported by various methods. By giving operations procedures, by giving information, by giving the equipment, machinery, by giving the products and materials, by helping them in quality management system, cost management system, delivery management system, teaching them Muda, Mura and Muri, teaching them 5S, teaching them standardization and customization, creating work discipline through teamwork, employee involvement, quality circles. These are the various support functions which can be done by the organization of middle management and top management. And when we do that, we can eliminate Muda, we can eliminate Muri, and we can eliminate Mura, and then we get a very excellent flow of materials and excellent employee involvement in the organization. I skip this thing. I will share this difference between management Kaizen, group Kaizen, individual Kaizen. We will cover another day. Very important point. With this, I will close my session. The organizational chart of Kaizen. Top management, of course, strategy is given by top management. A committee is formed, steering committee, preferably across functions. One member, one HOD from each function, or one deputy manager from each function can form the Kaizen steering committee. And there will be a secretariat reporting to top management. And there can be one secretary, deputy secretary in the committee. For a large organization, you need a secretariat of many secretaries. That doesn't mean these are different people. They are the same people doing other work. We are only giving them additional responsibility as the committee member and additional responsibility as secretary. Then we create champions across all functions. And when we do that, at the end of the day, a Pdca cycle, we eliminate the Muda, Mura, Muri. We go to the next level. We again eliminate Muda, Mura, Muri. We go to the next level. A continual journey of continual improvement, and Kaizen is done. This point I explained earlier also. And when you do this, there is no loss of the potential benefit. If you do not do the standardization, there will be a loss of the potential benefit. When we do the standardization, you will keep on moving towards a target. By not doing the standardization, you may reach a lower level of the target, and therefore standardization becomes extremely important. There are 4 general rules of Kaizen, Mr. Ashok. Do it today. Do not procrastinate. Opportunity should not be lost. Do not take no for an answer. Do not find out why it cannot be or should not be done. Do not wait for perfection. 60% is good enough. Move. Further improvement is always possible. Do it in one place. Extend to all similar places. Horizontal deployment. Do it today. Don't take no for an answer. Don't wait for perfection. Do it and extend it to all other places through horizontal deployment, or the 4 major don't and do's and don'ts of Kaizen. Procedures, forms, etc. we will cover another day. I think today is more of strategy of Kaizen. At the end of the day, in one company, in 1 month, we achieved 15 quality improvements. We achieved 12 cost improvements. We achieved 26 delivery improvements. We achieved 10 safety improvements. We achieved 10 housekeeping or 5S improvements. And the Mura, Muda and Muri was eliminated. There are 73 awards given in that one particular month. I am told in TVS Motor, there is one gentleman who did 15,000 Kaizens in a month. 15,000 Kaizens in a month, in a year. That means we are talking about more than 1,000 Kaizens per month. One gentleman has done in TVS Motor. So 73 Kaizens per month is nothing. It's a very humble achievement. And when we do that, my concluding remark, gentlemen, today is the Kaizen movement is universally applicable to various sectors, industries, functions, processes, and various contexts. It directly impacts customer satisfaction and across all business parameters. It is very easy to implement at the grassroots level compared to all other practices like TQM, TPM, etc., etc. It is self-sustainable because people are involved. My own experience, it is a very, very self-sustainable movement in those companies I work for. And above all, it creates a process-oriented problem-solving thinking process. It's a good training program. Kaizen is indirectly a training program. Please introduce Kaizen as a concept of a training program across your various processes. Even if you don't get tremendous improvement, it trains people to think in the process-oriented manner and problem-solving approach. With this remark, I want to make a poem, and with that poem, I close. My time given was 12:15. I close with this poem. This poem was written by me. The author of this poem is myself. I hope you like this poem. I dedicate this poem to Masaki Imai. I dedicate this poem to Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Masaki Imai said, Kaizen master. He's a Kaizen master. He said, better, cheaper, and faster. Masaki Imai Kaizen master. Better, cheaper, and faster. Small raindrops make the ocean. Technology is sum of all Kaizen. Small raindrops make the ocean. Technology is a sum of all Kaizen. Sound quality, sound delivery, sound cost. Sound quality, delivery, and cost. Success is never lost. Success is never lost. Man-machine material methods. Man-machine material methods. Attractive anode cathodes. Attractive anode and cathodes. Grassroots clarity, management gains parity. Grassroots clarity, management gains parity. All of them are equal. In front of Kaizen, all levels are equal. Management gains parity. Improvement make gradually, benefits come visually. Improvement make gradually, benefits come visually. Sun's rays focus through lens, diverging ideas focus through Kaizen. Sun's rays focus through lens, diverging ideas focus through Kaizen. Innovation is top-down approach. Kaizen is bottoms-up approach. Innovation is top-down approach. Kaizen is bottoms-up approach. Gemba Kaizen is a workplace improvement. Group Kaizen is a teamwork betterment. Gemba Kaizen is a workplace improvement. Group Kaizen is a teamwork betterment. Muda, Mura, and Muri. Problems never worry. Muda, Mura, and Muri. Problems never worry. Thank you very much, Mr. Devarajan, Mr. Prakash, and all friends, Ashok. Thank you very much. With this, I would like to unshare my presentation. Thank you very much. And best wishes for the launch of e-Kaizen movement by Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. I think you can see more than questions. We have only compliments in the chat box. Anyway, we can have few questions. Just before going into the Q&A session, just I would like to highlight here that continuously we had more than 90 persons attending this session. That is the kind of compliments what you can we can say that the kind of detailing about what and why of Kaizens you did. And of course, you elaborated on e-Kaizen means everywhere by and everyone. That is the important thing. And you highlighted on impact of Kaizen on all key performance indicators. That's also a good takeaway for all the attendees. And you highlighted on the triple dhamaka, that is how to delight customer, employees, and shareholders also. And you nicely brought out the differences of innovation, suggestion scheme versus Kaizen also. Anyway, I think how to make group guys and everything. I think now we have something from Prakashan also. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think I was also glued to the entire presentation, the last 90 minutes. So excellent. In fact, thank you very much for this. Actually, the e-Kaizen, we had coined it for looking at the library through the e-library. But I think today we found a new definition of e-Kaizen, that is every day, everybody, everywhere. So that is a one excellent takeaway for me from this. And second important thing is, I think all of us knew about 4Ms. All of us knew about three mudas or muda, muri, mura. but we never looked at in combination of 4M and 3MU. That is a 12-point improvement opportunity. I think this is a kind of a big eye opener for all of us, because we all looked at in isolation the three, and today with your triangle on the connecting the customer quality for the Mura and delivery for the Muri and a cost for the Muda. I think probably it's a kind of an eye opener for all of us. And this 4M into 3 mu is probably a good, new, I would say, new tool. We can use it in almost all the organizations, even the organizations which are matured, to look at this from a different angle. Thank you very much, sir, for this. Excellent. I think we probably are, everybody is just, stunned by the kind of contents what you shared. And it take a lot of time for them to understand. And we are looking at this session and including your material, we are looking at bringing it under the e-Kaizen guidebook. Thank you very much, sir, for this.
Thank you,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Prakash, for your kind words. Thank you, Ashok, for your kind words.
Yes, sir. Anyway, thank you, sir. Anyway, just a few Q&As just to sum up. I think Mr. Renkapa has asked about that. Please elaborate on Muda, Mura, and Muri. I hope it's covered. Mr. Renkapa, I hope you agree with me that it's covered in his in
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Before explaining only, I raised the questions, but after that, I got the information.
Okay. Anyway, the next from KVS
Thank you.
Iyer, he explained that your presentation was more like a blue ocean strategies for his business kind of thing. However, he has one small question: how to take care of politics, since as people will be everywhere. So you can just dwell upon it, sir, little bit.
Very simple answer is, when there is a group and teamwork activity, the politics completely dissolves. Because in an individual Kaizen activity, I found even there is a Kaizen politics. Because somebody will say, sir, my Kaizen is better than the other Kaizen. Not to speak of the general politics, there is a Kaizen politics. I dissolved it through group Kaizen exercise, number one. Number two is, people make presentation every 7th of each month, and then they take pride in the presentation. The group of people are watching them and appreciating them. And thirdly, in the shop floor, it is horizontally deployed across the company. So by these methods of involving everybody, the politics, it gradually dissolves. It cannot be eliminated. Where there is a human being, there is an ego. So the politics is part and parcel of it. I think these are the group methods and techniques, and an HR process which involves a reward mechanism, definitely not a monetary reward, a non-monetary reward mechanism, which Richard Schonberger writes in a big chapter about non-monetary rewards in his book called World Class Manufacturing. And in 1986, he wrote it. So non-monetary should be emphasized to avoid politics, and involving more people avoids politics. Dr. Devarajan has been a very successful leader. He is a mentor of our group, and he can talk especially on a separate webinar how to involve people and eliminate politics. Coming to the blue ocean strategy, the question came 2-3 times. Blue ocean strategy is nothing but improvement, innovation, at the same time reducing the cost. The combined force of differentiation strategy and the cost leadership strategy is referred in the blue ocean strategy. Also creating a new market through the combined force of differentiation and cost leadership. Many of you companies have created new markets, which means the market did not exist. But through blue ocean strategies, you created new market. But to create the new market has to be, both cost has to be very attractive and innovation also has to be very, very attractive. So Kaizen is the best way to address all the 3 aspects of quality, delivery, cost, differentiation, leadership, cost leadership, and so on and so forth. But you need a cumulative Kaizen. It's not 1 or 2 Kaizens. You need thousands and thousands of Kaizen. In one company, I created a slogan: 1 Kaizen per day per person. 1 Kaizen per day per person can be a slogan which all of you can adopt. I know it will not immediately happen, but gradually the metrics will improve and you will find a sustainable movement happen. Blue ocean strategy is also part and parcel of competitive strategy, which we can achieve.
Anyway, thank you, sir. I think we don't have any questions. We have more compliments. Anyway, I think one of our key member, Mr. Dinakar Murthy, wants to speak, sir. I think, Mr. You can go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Chandramouli san, it was really outstanding, fantastic description, and a lot of nostalgic memories I had. Thanks a lot for that. My question is, see, if you look at it today, Kaizen is just common sense. And in your opinion, why is it that it has not percolated in the MSME sector? And in your opinion, what needs to be done for a real wave to be caused in the MSME sector?
Very good question, sir. Thank you. Training. Awareness. No escape of doing that. But more importantly, we must show the low-hanging fruits. The MSME, when you do the Kaizen implementation, we must see the benefits which directly goes to improve their business process. In one forum, myself, Dr. Devarajan, Prakash, we went and met MSMEs in, I'm sorry to say, in a mental hospital top floor. That's just a humorous part. But they all poured out 30 different problems in a brainstorming. They have problems with the bank. They have problems with the tax regime and so on and so forth. They do not have time to concentrate on their business processes. The moment we show them quality improvement, productivity improvement, delivery improvement, automatically the process will be captured by them. Automatically they will adopt it more and more and more. Right now I am doing one exercise of mentoring an MSME in northern India to implement Kaizen. I see very good results coming even within 1 month, and more I will share a year from now. It is possible to motivate the MSME. The biggest issue is they require hand holding because they are concentrating on external factors like creating a brand, creating market awareness, creating overcoming the tax regime, overcoming the legal issues, etc. The entrepreneur do not have time, so he has to create a champion who focuses only on business operations. Every entrepreneur requires a general manager in the middle. The general manager in the middle is an inevitable person who should be completely diverse from the entrepreneur to focus on all these subjects. I hope some of the MSMEs are listening to me will do this particular suggestion of bringing a person who concentrates only on operation and not running around the banks and government. Thank you, Dinakar.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Anyway, I think thanks for that. I think our mentor, Mr. Devarajan, has something to share also. I think
yes,
his viewpoint is OEM should drive this one. I think, sir, you can deliberate on that one, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it was, first of all, I'd like to thank Chandramouli for the excellent way, as usual, into going to detail. See, I found many areas the implementation has to be both sides, from the MSMEs as well as from the OEMs. It should be seen as a win-win for both companies. Secondly, one more major shift happening today is it is on QCT, quality, cost, and time. That's going to be the key area, how quick, how we are able to implement it for the business results. I think Chandramouli did make a lot of good way of combining many things. See, it is all like what he showed, one of the charts, it's got so many tools in it. So the way of implementing, the way of interacting is always situation bound. See, one more thing which we try to do in our area, and we're trying to do it more, is team-based Kaizens also. Team can be on safety, on quality, on handling, on logistics. There are so many areas in which we miss. So if the MSMEs and the suppliers work on, for example, logistics Kaizens itself, it will be benefit for them in terms of cost reduction and for the OEMs. So it is I look at it as a part of a movement which can bring in win-win for both the sides. I think, first of all, thank you very much, Chandramouli. I think you got so much of information. I learned a lot of things from your presentation today. And every time there's an improvement in the way you are explaining and way of sharing, each slide has got the depth of practical experiences which you have. And really, we look forward, and I think we should have a workshop more on this and go in for Kaizen 4.0, like what you mentioned, making more digital, more transparent. I think Dinika also mentioned the same point. It's a part, how we can take it forward is our area where we can see. Thank you very much, Anamoli-san, and thank you, Prakash.
I just want to make one remark before leaving Dr. Devarajan.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that Vivekan Chikale from FANUC, I think, he asked a very good question about 4.0.
Yes, yes.
The concept of Lean 4.0 integrates all the Lean technologies with Industry 4.0. A great research is going on in Europe, in Germany, which is ironical. Just in time is born in Japan, but the research on Lean 4.0 is happening in Germany. And I'm doing some work on that. I think one of the BCIC forums, we presented Lean 4.0.
Yeah.
We can have a separate module on Kaizen 4.0, separate module on TPM 4.0. I can introduce through Prakash ji a series of 10 workshops on JAT 4.0, Kanban 4.0, etc., etc. And this 10 workshops we will try to do in April, May, June or something under your leadership, Dr. Devarajan and Prakash. And we can integrate. That is one comment. I have one request. That's why I put my hand up. I want Rajesh Kannan, who is in the audience, to make a few remarks about his journey on Kaizen. He was the person who generated the maximum number of Kaizens in Makino. He is actually grown from operator level. Today he is a manager in a company called MAG, I think. And Rajesh Kannan, if you are still listening to me, you can come on the video. Ramnath also puts up his hand. And I want Ramnath and Rajesh Kannan to make few remarks before we close this call. To 12:25 and 12:30 we can easily close as per our time management.
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Bharatram will come in, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Ramnath, Rajesh Kannan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sorry. First, I like to say thanks to BCIC to give opportunity to hear about Kaizens through my role model and legend, Mr. Chandramouli, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, in my career,
any idea you want to give for people who are implementing Kaizen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See, if you want to do more Kaizens, we need to concentrate the area, as Chandramouli sir told. We need to concentrate, our AI need to concentrate the area wherever we struggle in terms of Muda, Mura, Muri. See, wherever I work, I focus on quality, delivery, and cost. In that area, I will focus. And if I focus, I can get idea. In that way, I did more Kaizens in the area of wherever I work. As Chandramouli sir told, I started my career in grinding machine. There I did lot of Kaizens. That motivated me to do Kaizen on wherever I work. Then later turning machine, HMC, then again assembly. And safety also I did more Kaizens. Not only in industry, it gained me to do more Kaizens in my personal life also. This is what the message I need to share.
Thank you, Mr. Rajesh Kannan. He is a living example. Another living example is Satish Jaina. He is not present today, I think. The two living examples who started their career at the grassroots level and grow up to the top management level in their respective careers. Thank you very much, Mr. Rajesh Kannan and Satish Jaina, to be the living examples of how Kaizen can take you up your career.
Thank
Mr.
you,
Ramnath ji. Yes, Mr. Ramnath ji.
You are muted, Mr. Ramnath. You can unmute and speak.
First of all, I thank BCIC and Mr. Chandramouli and the organizers of BCIC for having a wonderful session. It is, I always see Mr. Chandramouli as a walking encyclopedia of management and technology both together. Okay, when I was working with him in Makino, many improvement things were done. I was happy to see the photographs what he shared and all. It is really nostalgic. And another point when it comes to Kaizen, what I have seen across in many small companies where the implementation of the Kaizen is not so effective because the manager or the supervisor level start thinking what is the savings rather than to think of implementing it first. Chandrasan made one thing, even if it is 60%, don't wait for completion, go ahead and implement. Then the results will happen. So this is one of the major blocking what I have seen in many of the small companies, bringing in the project of Kaizen itself. So I request many of the MSME people here not to frame what will be the output result, whether it will be savings or it will be or the implementation cost. Provided implement this employee gives motivation to the team members also to continuously improve. Thank you, Chandrasan. It was really wonderful session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Ramnath.
thank you,
Thank you. Thank you, Ramnath.
Yeah, thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
Mr. Ramnath and Rajesh Krishnan for sharing your live experiences. Now I request our key member Bharatram from TIA to share his thoughts and vote of thanks. I request Ramsan.
Yeah, very good afternoon to everyone present here. Having to propose a vote of thanks when we are close to lunch on a weekend lunch. Well, I'll try to keep it short because there's a lot of comments and these things that have already been said. Now, having said that, I think first thing is thanks to Chandramouli-san. It's really been a masterclass on Kaizen. Like you've touched every aspect of what, why, how it can be done, and with very appropriate examples and citations at every stage. So thank you very much for it. And it's been a very informative, knowledgeable, and a very motivational presentation. We would look forward to your continued support in this initiative of putting this e-Kaizen library together, because we've just started. This is a curtain raiser, but we need to take it through a logical end, and we look forward to your continued support and advice to see that it benefits the target audience. Thanks to all the participants for having almost 90 of you all have been present here. I'm sure it has helped you and you've taken your time off your busy schedules to be present virtually on this platform, and I'm sure it has helped you get a very good insight. And we look forward to your continued participation in this this particular journey. And thanks to the BCIC Secretariat, Rupa-san and Prithvi-san for facilitating this. And special thanks to Ashok and Prakash for having driven this activity. So once and all, once again, thank you very much and wish you all a very good weekend. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bharatram. Thank you so much for your kind words. There are 900 questions, 3MU into 4M into 5W1H into 11 questions thereof. And if we keep adding more and more, as Devarajan and Prakash said, it may even cross 1,000 questions. Thank you very much for patient listening. Thanks, BCIC, for giving this fantastic opportunity for me to share. Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks for clarification, sir. Again, anyway, now on I request this one BCIC administration to take over to close the ceremony or the event officially.
Thank you, Ashok sir. It was a fantastic session on a Saturday. We had a lot of learnings from Chandramouli-san, and as Mr. Ramnath has told that he's an encyclopedia with a lot of experience that he's sharing. And apart from Chandramouli-san, Prakash-san, then Dr. Devarajan, they bring vast experience in this Kaizen forum drive, which has really made our BCC members great thought leaders are present in this. And I request all the participants to keep following the BCIC events calendar, what's happening, so that when we organize a session or something, we request you to kindly disseminate to your networking. It could be on a social media, or it could be on an email, where more participation can come and really benefit out of this. And really, Ashok sir has taken forward the coming out of the handbook, which will really help the MSME to participate in this event. And also, there's after this, there's also a Kaizen process. Self-declaration and a walkthrough audit will be there for the selected companies. And in the coming months, we look forward for all these activities from the Manufacturing Export Committee. Really need to thank Chandramouli-san for his wonderful presentation, and also Mr. Prakash ji, Shiva Ganesh, Dr. Devarajan, all for the encouragement and support is given to the BCIC members. Thank you all once again. Look forward for a great weekend and look forward for the coming events in the future. Thank you all once again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Prithvi.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Ashok.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nirmoli. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you,
Mr.
Prakash.
Baburao, TCAP questions,
Thank you, sir.
you can answer offline. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you.